You were talking about the distinctions that you made, and so often when we're working with people on like an executive team or just one-on-one coaching, they seem to think, well, I can't trust that person, and they have it's like this bundle or habitual sort of way they look at this human being or this group, and they have such a hard time finding some way to be intentional about building trust. You spoke about those four distinctions. Can you just talk a little bit about the distinctions? You talked about care. What are the others?
So the first, let's start with care. And I think that's actually for me one of the fundamental one in many respects. So care is the assessment or belief that you have my interests in mind, as well as your own, but you have truly have my interests in mind when you make decisions and take action, that you support what's important to me, that you have my back. So I say that's fundamental because if we have that sense about another person, we believe that about another person, it makes it easier to build trust with that person than if we don't. If our assessment is that person doesn't really care about me, they only care about themselves, or they only care about this thing or that thing. So that's one of the four assessment domains. But there are three others.
Hmm.
So there is a domain that I call sincerity, which is essentially a combination of integrity and honesty. Um, so honesty meaning I assess that I can trust what you say. I can believe it. That you're not trying to lie to me or fool me or say something that's not true in some way. So there's that aspect of it, of sincerity, and also the integrity aspect, which is that if you say something, that you are going to act in a way that supports what you say.
Hmm.
So, for example, if you're a leader and you've got a team and you tell your team, I want this team to be a high feedback team. I want us to be able to give positive feedback and take positive feedback from each other. And then the first time one of the team members tries to give the leader some feedback that the leader doesn't like or is uncomfortable with, and the leader just shuts them down. That's the trust and sincerity is just demolished right in that moment.
Yeah.
So that's the domain of sincerity. The domain of reliability has to do with keeping the specific commitments that we make to each other. If I say I'm going to have that report done and in your hand Thursday afternoon at 4 o'clock, I get it there. I do it. There's another aspect to that, though, because obviously in organizations, there's all kinds of things that can get in the way of that I can't control. So if something
Competing
comes
demands.
up,
Yeah.
yeah, right.
Lots of
Uh,
demands. Yes.
well, yes. So if something comes up and it's going to get in the way of me getting that to you at 4 o'clock on Thursday afternoon, part of reliability is that I come and tell you as soon as I realize that this is going to be a problem, so that we can both figure out how to manage that, how to go forward. Um, or there's my boss comes to me and says, "Can you do X? Will you please do X for me?" Even before I make a commitment, taking care to take a look at what I have on my plate. Can I do it? Can I make the commitment to do what my boss is asking me to do? Maybe ask my boss, can you help me prioritize? Because I've got these five other things that I also need to do. And I don't think I can get them all done. So help me prioritize. There's a whole, you probably are aware at this point that having read the book and having worked with people a lot, there's a whole kind of linguistic technologies, language around making clear requests and offers, and then making commitments based on those requests and offers that allows
Yeah.
people to really become and sustain trustworthiness in the domain of reliability. And then the fourth one is competence, which is essentially you have the skills, knowledge, expertise, experience, maybe even resources, whatever, to do either what I'm asking you to do or to do what you're proposing to do. So you have this ability to do it. But there's also, like with reliability, there's, of course, you may not have a certain skill set that you need to do it. So part of building trust in the domain of competence is saying so, saying, you know
Mhm.
what? I don't know. I haven't any experience in this. I don't know how to do it. I will try, and I need help. Can we work that out or whatever it is so that
Mhm.
when I actually go off and try and do it, I can come as close as possible, if not actually do what I'm saying that I can do.